Okay, welcome to our session where we are going to take you through how you can be able to analyze and prepare your data for the analysis. Preparation of data to analysis is very important because it's the step that we have to undergo. Any data require a cleaning process, and that's what we normally start with. After you have done what you call imported your data just exactly the way we have done, the next process now is going to be analysis. So let us import the data and we begin the data cleanup process. Yeah, this is one of the states that most often if you go to these seminars to learn data analysis, you'll hardly find one of the facilitators taking you through the this process of data cleanup, since it is consuming a lot of time. Yes, we take almost even 1 month just cleaning a data. But then when it comes to analysis, we only take something like 1 week and we have already generated the report. So the most tiresome process is this one that I want to take you briefly. When we are cleaning data, we are going to take you through step-by-step process of identifying what you call missing values and replacing them, outliers. At the same time, we are going to identify duplicate entries, and you can be able to identify the reason why they are duplicate. Is it genuinely duplicate, or is a problem that we need now to rectify? So those are some of the things that we shall take you through. But before that, we shall ensure that the data is put in a position that you can do the analysis. And after that, we do the exploration to choose what we call statistical tests that we shall use to support our both descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. So welcome. So now the first thing that when you want to import a data, you come to file. You can either import it direct through coming to import data or come to open the data. Then you go to the data. After that, you can be able to choose. But I want to take you through the simplest process, which is importing the data. What is the data that we want to import? This data is in which format? It is in Excel. So you just come to Excel. Now, this latest SPSS program has even options where you can import data in CSV data. Any data that you have used, something like ODK, ComCare, or even Google Forms to collect data using technology, definitely comes in an interface called CSV data. So we can also bring in SAS, we can Starter, DBase, Lotus. All these are different data types that you can bring into the SPSS. We can import. So here we are going to import Excel. Now you take that particular Excel, which data, where is it? So you just simply bring it here. It is in this my file. So I will be able now to say, okay, once it has come like that, I can be able now to say, okay, and then I share with you the data that I've already brought forth. So this is the data that I've imported. So this data, the way it has been imported, we can never begin analysis. We must be able to make it in a way that data analysis is possible through this particular data. If you go to our variable view, because SPSS is 2 windows, we have the variable view window and then the data view. When we come to the variable view, first of all, you find that the naming is done properly, but then the data types are all string. And remember, we cannot do any analysis with a string variable. So we have to change from string to numeric so that we can be able to support our analytical the analysis. So what do we do? Here, we are going to be able to fill these columns of variable view very well. We have this column of data type that we must be able to replace. And also we have also this column of values. Because this is categorical data, so we'll be expected to do coding for all the values that are presented there. For instance, if you look at the question number 1, the selection of the project. Now, we are either, these are Likert scale questions. These are 3 Likert scale questions for the first question. Okay. The range here of the Likert is D is disagree, U is undecided, and then A is agree. Now, we talked about previously that if Likert scale questions have positively awarded, positively constructed sentiments, then the least value should be given to disagree, while the highest value should be given to agree. Therefore, in this case, we had D, which we are going to give 1, code number 1, U will be given code number 2, and then A will be given code number 3. That's the highest. since these are positively worded questions. So now, I want to take you through now, how do I replace this? Because remember, you cannot just decide now to replace all this direct to numeric before you can be able to change this to numeric itself. So you must be able to convert this to numeric is when you can be able now to go to specific questions and replace them accordingly. So what am I going to do? I come to this particular data set and then I simply come to edit. Then I say replace. So what am I replacing? I'm replacing letter D, which is capital, with number 1. Since I've said that I will represent with the numeric, since SPSS can only support numeric variables. So I will say 1. So I come to replace all. So wherever there is D in the first question, it will be replaced with 1. You come and delete like that. So I only found 1 where there was D. So I move now to the next one. Also, where there is D, I replace. That is now I found 10. I move to the next one. Where there is D, I replace all. Where is there is D, I replace all. This one I have not found any. Next one, I move replace all. There are only 8. Next one, I replace all, 2. Next one, I replace. There's only 1. Next one, I replace again. Yeah? Next one, I replace. 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 So now, if you look at the trend of what I'm trying to do, where there is D, which means disagree, for the first questions, I'm doing replacing until the variable is complete. Remember, all those variables are marked as B. So until I'm done with B, before I move to the next variable, I will be able now to move to the next letter. So there are 25 questionnaire that were failed completely. And now I'm doing what you call trying to change them to have responses, to have numeric. Yes, now I've then done with D for the first variable. Yes, so I now move to U, where U now is going to be undecided. I will give it number 2 in that order. So I will start with the last question and so I go back. So you see what I'm doing? I replace, I'll find U, the last one, only 1. I move to the next one now. I also replace. So I really want you to take this keenly because these are processes that if you cannot do, these are some of the things that makes data analysis become so difficult for most people. And no one will be able to release for you these secrets. Yeah? Because you will train, you will go back, but when you are going to try to begin analyzing data, you will not be able to proceed. Yes. So I'm now releasing for you the secret why we are doing data analysis comfortably at any time. Even if you wake us at in the past midnight, we shall wake up and begin just analyzing the data that you have presented to us. Because we already know what is supposed to be done first, what is supposed to be done next, until the last thing, how we are going to do discussion of the key findings. Okay. So now this is exactly what we do, every steps at a time. Then when I come back, I will come back now with agree. I will come back now with replacing what you call agree. And remember, it's like majority of these respondents had agreed with these sentiments. That's why you're finding the rate by which I'm replacing the one with you is not as per when I will now replace with agree. Agree being the highest in my first variable. Good. So I've already done that. Now I'm going to what you call agree. And remember, agree is only A, and then I put it 3. I put it 3. So I start. 3. Look at that. 22 already. Next. Look at that. That is 8. Next. 3. 11. Look at that. Look at that. That's 19. Look at that. That is 10. Look at that. That is A. Look at that. That is 17. Look at that. That is 10. Look at that. That is 19. Look at that. So look at exactly the process that I'm taking. Actually, like Sandrine told me that the exercise that I gave out was so difficult. The reason why it was so difficult is because of you are not able to follow this particular process. And please, this is a process that you must be able to. If at all there is anything that you need to come up with this particular seminar at the end of it all, is being in a position to conduct proper data cleanup or this data preparation processes. You have done all of it very well. This is going to assist you. I've told you how it is very expensive for you to be invited outside there to go and perform what you call data cleanup for the organizations, because there cannot be any data analysis conducted before this particular process is complete. Yes. So now that is exactly what you have already done. So I've already almost replaced all of them. Look at all of them have been replaced with numbers. What it simply means now, I can comfortably go to the variable view and replace the data type from string to numeric, and there will be nothing that's happening in this particular data that we have. Then I consequently go to what you call the values and do proper coding of these particular questions. So I come here, and then what do? I come here and then I now change. I change to numeric. I've already changed that first question to numeric. I can even copy, and then I just paste. I paste like that. This next question, paste. That question I paste. This one I paste. This one I paste. I paste all those questions just like that in that order. I just paste. I just paste them like that. As I move. Yes, as I move. As I move. Remember, every question was an indicator. And that's where you can see it very clearly. We have B2, B1, B2, B3, B4, B5. Each and every, this means there are 5 indicators for the first question. That is what the instance of that particular coding system that was done here. And it's very nice because it supports, we already know exactly the variables the way they are. So I've already done this exactly all of it here. Yes. So since I've already done this particular data set, I will do for you an experiment so that you see the danger of changing this before you can go to do the process that you've already done. Let's take, for instance, question CA. This particular question, I want to change it. And then we are going to check it the other side because we have not changed it already. Okay. So what I want to take you through is, let's view C1. So this is the C1 I'm talking about. It is in the strongly disagree, strongly agree, agree, strongly disagree. That's the way. This one was now a 5 Likert scale on trying to test the process of decision making of each and every NGO. So now I want just to do an experiment because this particular data set, I've already cleaned it somewhere that you can use even for doing those other experiments. But the experiment I want to do is the danger of trying to change this particular option to call here. I can decide to change it. Let me copy again and say it is numeric. Now I've already changed numeric, but I've not done the expected process outside there. Look at now when I go here, what do I see? Look at this. Look at this column. What are you able to see, please? What can you see?
It's blank.
It is blank. Just dots, isn't it? Yes, that's the danger. If you do a mistake of changing in the variable view, the data types to numeric, before I click change all this to be numeric in the data view, when you import a data from Pub Excel or from Lotus or a database into SPSS. So that is exactly what I was trying to talk about. So what I want to do here is to change. I want to go back to the way it was, to the string. Let me see. When I go back to the string, it has already recovered. It has regained. Yes. I think now I've regained what I lost. Initially, I lost it, and I don't want to lose any. So I want just to follow systematic process. All these second questions were also what we call as, which particular kind of variable were they? This one also were called a Likert scale, 5 Likert scale questions. So strongly disagree will be given to be 1, because all these are positively worded questions in the questionnaire. So I come here and then I come to edit, I come to replace, then now, what do I replace? I come and indicate strongly disagree, 1. I say 1. Now, in order for you to move slightly faster, once you already say strongly disagree is 1, identify all the questions, all your questions, where they strongly disagree and replace them with 1. So I will do, you come and replace all. That is the first one. I move direct to the next question, replace all. I move next. Why I'm doing this process is to be able at least to do this exercise within the shortest time possible. Yes, because time is also a factor in anything that you do. And time is a very great resource. So I want to move slightly faster so that I can be able at least to mitigate the time factor. Yes, I come here, next question, strongly disagree. I don't get any. I've not been able to get any. So I still proceed, strongly disagree, replace all. I've got 1. Yes, I've got 1 in that particular variable. I move now to the next one. What have I got now? Strongly disagree. Strongly disagree. Yes, that is the case. That is the case. That is the case. Then we proceed. We are proceeding well. Okay. Remember, the next questions that I'm trying to replace are questions on C. They are on decision-making process. That is according to the questionnaire. So immediately the C's are over, I will be able to do what? I will be able to stop. When C's are over, I will be able to stop what I'm doing. Yes, I don't know where I am now. Yes, where I am. Okay, so I've already done the up to the maximum of C's, because the next one is E. So now I go back. So from strongly disagree, now I will have disagree, which means now it's going to be D. So D, I will give option number 2. Okay, now I begin again with all. That's a font 5. Next, I move just like that. Yes, this is the process that some of you are complaining. Please, can you unmute that background of the child? Okay. I'm moving on. Now the next, this I think is there.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes, can you ask?
How I don't know if it's gonna be too, but how do you do that replace all without actually clicking on it? I can see your mouse doesn't.
See, actually what I'm doing is that now, for instance, I've already I've already done the replacements of strongly disagree. And I'm also doing here the replacement for strong disagree, which is.
Yes, I can see there now your mouse is on the button, right? But
Yes.
for the others, your button doesn't reach that, your mouse doesn't reach that button. How do you do it?
I have to change is when it's possible for me to change. Like for instance, now this one was disagree, which is 2. And then after disagree, I need now to go to undecided, isn't it? So I will change.
Yes.
I will change now to U. So undecided, I will replace with what? 3, isn't it? Then now I simply come to the first C1. Then I say replace all. So I've got 2 of them. Then I move to the next one like that. Then I also say replace all. I've got 5. I also say like this, replace all. So this is exactly what I've been doing all throughout. So I come to replace all. Yes, I change like that, and then I say replace all. So this process, it moves slightly faster than if you are doing it one by one. Yes. So this process, it moves somehow faster. And that's why I prefer if we do it in this manner. Yes. I come here again, I say replace all. Yes, I got 1. Then I move now to the next variable. I say replace all. I move to the next variable again. I say replace all. I move to the next variable again. I say replace all. Now look at, it's a kind of a repetitive process, which looks somehow boring, but then we can never avoid it. I told you that this is the process which has what we call the donkey's work. So we have to be able to do the donkey's work one by one. Yeah.
Okay.
But now,
I think maybe it was my eyes. And your mouse is probably moving very fast. Yes,
I've done the U and decided. Now I want to agree. I want to go to I agree, which simply means I come to A. Agree is 4, isn't it? Yes. So we can say replace all for 4. Look at 16 already. I've gone. I move again. 8 is gone. I move again. This one is 10. Gone. I move again. This one is 11. Gone. I move again. This one is 15. Gone. I move again. This is 18. Gone. So you see that they agree. The rate of the respondents agreeing with these statements was somehow increased. This is 23. That's almost everything. Agree. Look at the next one. Agree is 21. Almost everything is, yes, these are 7. Next one is 23, 22. Then the next one is 18. The next one is.
You notice it's turning your strongly agree into S4.
Yeah, strongly agree. Do you have the agree? Yes.
I understand with that agree one.
I've seen what has happened, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Agree as what has happened with agree? Agree as every place where there's agree, it has changed to S4. Yes, let me go here now. Let me see.
It happens like that at times, unless you have to undo.
Where is this?
Where
they strongly agree, it has gone to S4, isn't it? I've seen. We are going to take that into consideration when we are moving to the next one. Yes. Then I talk like that. Agree is changing to S4. Agree is changing to X4. So there's no problem. We already know where the problem is. And that S4 will be replaced automatically with 5. Okay. So now I move now to the next level where I want to replace S4 with strongly agree. So it's going to be S5, S4. So I will say now it is S4. S4 now will be 5, isn't it? So let's look at that. Okay. So where there's S5, S4, it will just simply like strongly agree because of the kind of replacement that we had previously. So I move like, So those are some of the things, minor things that you must be able to take into consideration when you are doing all this kind of work. Replacement, let me move them to this side. Let me move this one up slightly so that I can be able to enjoy doing it one by one. Okay, I do it like this. Yes. Okay, this one, is it replace all? Let me look at it. Yes, replace all. Replace all, 7. This one also replace all. And then the next question is replace all. Then what is the next one now? This one is replace all. I've done that. I go to the next question, replace all. And then this one also replace all. Finally, we have this, replace all. And then this is replace all. Finally, I have this, replace all. And then this one is replace all. Finally, I have that. Now, this is going to be the last. This is going to be the last. Yes, I've already done all of them. So next is, the next questions is slightly more, but you can look at them. They are now the final question. The final questions, this one was now 3 Likert scale. Now the 3 Likert scale, they were in always, sometimes, always, sometimes. I want to, never. Yes, there was what you call never. And in that case, never is supposed to be given the least value, then sometimes, and then always is going to be given the highest value, because this is now a 3 Likert scale. So I begin off straight away with E1 so that I can be able now to also make them exactly like this other case, what we have done in the other case. Then finally, I will be able to do what? This is the process that some of you were not able to proceed with this particular kind of work. So I'm seeing, I come to edit, then I come to replace all. And what do I replace now? I now say never. Never. Never is 1. Never. Never. Yes. Never. I put 1. Yes. 1. So I say replace all. Replacing all for the first variable, which is never. I put like that, and then identify, replace all. We don't have any. I come again to never. Yes, at least there's 1. I move to the next one. You see how speed that this thing is making me to move slightly faster because of the way by which I'm doing it. Yes, I don't want this. Yes, come like that again. Choose the next one, move very fast like that. This is exactly what I expect you to do when you are at your free time. Remember that analysis becomes interesting when you are not doing it because of even any exam. You're doing it to be able to enjoy it at your free time. You do exactly this. Yes. Okay. Next. I'm seeing I've just lost. Yes, I've moved you away. Now I can be able to see what I'm doing. And let me bring this one up here. I change like that because I need, what is this? Yes, I can do like that. I move to the next question. I do like that. Next question, please. Third question. Okay. And then the next one. The next one. So it's only never that I'm trying to work on. So immediately after that, I will go to sometimes. And then after sometimes, I will just done, yes, I've now done with never. So I move to the next one. So now the next one is going to be sometimes. Sometimes. So sometimes it will be 2. And I start from,
Is it case sensitive?
yes?
Is it case sensitive? So does it matter how you actually spell the sometimes and all?
It is case sensitive. That's why I'm trying to ensure that if it is capital, it remains capital.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, it is case sensitive. Any slight thing may alter, or it may not be found. It's like rejecting. Yes. So now this particular process, since I've repeated this the second time I'm repeating the exercise, now please, I know you can be able to do something. You can be able to practice this, follow my steps the way I've done very well without having a problem. And you need to demonstrate for me that it gives me some level of confidence. Yes, that I'm not singing lullaby. At least we are in the same page. Yeah, because we can't escape this. We can never escape this. If at all you want to enjoy this journey of being a data analyst, you can never escape this process. Well, this is something that no one also will be able to reveal for you all this. You have to discover them by yourself. When you learn through discovery, you'll realize you learn more. Yes, me even when my first seminars for data analysis, yes, we paid so much, but then I ended up that I grabbed very little. Yeah, because immediately after that, I started experimenting if I could analyze. I realized that I still needed more. I still have a long journey to begin. Now I've done that. Now the next one is always. Now always I will give 3. And perhaps it is this always that will take the better part of my variables. Look at now. If I click always, it moves very fast. Everything is clear. I say, okay, I move to the next one. Everything is clear. I move to the next one. Everything is clear. I move to the next one. Everything is clear. Yes. Then I move to the next one. Everything is clear. The next one, everything is clear. So I'm almost changing everything here. And immediately after I've changed that, I will go direct to what we call values. And I fill in that particular column called values very, very well. And it will be something which is good. Yes, values, look at that. I'm replacing everything, always replacing with 3. Look at that. I'm almost done with this exercise I'm doing here so that we can move to the next level. Okay, next. Okay, now I've done everything that we needed to do. So you can see my data set now are all in numerics. So what do I do from here? I first go to what you call data types and I change exactly. I will change everything now from everything now will be numeric. I want to ensure everything now is numeric and I will not lose any data as a result of doing that. I do like that. Yes, I do like that. This is exactly what I expect you to do because now from tomorrow, nonetheless, even if you don't do, we shall be able to analyze this data and give the findings and the report because that is what is important. After that, you just close this particular exercise. So remember the questions are many. So I will continue doing what? I will continue filling them. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I'm now changing from what you call the string variable, which cannot support my data analysis, to what? I'm now changing everything. I'm changing everything. Yes. Yes. So there's some questions here which are still string. So let me see. I've exactly changed all this. So what I want to do is, I know where these other questions have come from, but let me look at this. Okay. So
Yeah, I was going to ask you that because they look incomplete.
They are?
Yeah, the other questions, they look incomplete. I was wondering where they come from.
Yes, I'm wondering where they have come from. So the best thing I can do, meanwhile, is to be able to clear them. Yeah, from the system. I don't have them. So now this is exactly what I already have. So from that point, what do I do next? The next thing that I do is to go to what you call values and be able to put in exactly the codes for what we are having. Like for instance, you come here and then say under values, you say value 1 simply means disagree. You say add. Then 2 simply means undecided. I will not even use disagree. I need to use D. 1 simply means, because they use D, you add. Then 2 means U. U is capital, then you add. Then 3 is A, add. This is exactly what I need to do. But now, this question is the same. Can I also copy it and paste? Is it possible to copy and paste here? Look at that. It's moving fast, isn't it? Yeah? I'm copying and pasting because the same questions, all these have the same numbering. Instead of writing them one by one, I'm now copying and pasting. This particular exercise must be done. Yes? So there's no shortcut about this. And that's why, even if you take how long to be able to, before we begin the analysis, is the only thing that we are trying to reinforce here is to be able to do what is right. We shall go to whether we have some missing values to be replaced. This is the last one. Then I move to the next one now. I called this one. This one now is a 5 Likert scale. It all started with, what was the first letter is S, 1, strongly disagree, SD. Then we have 2 is disagree. You come and say like that, disagree. Then you add. Then 3 was undecided, isn't it? You say okay. Then 4 is agree. And then 5 is strongly agree. We say 5. Then you say okay. So once I've already done that, it's my responsibility to copy it. And then I continue now pasting it in the subsequent questions so that I can create element of uniformity. Yes. So what are the questions? I need to push them slightly up. Remember, I'm dealing with C's. So look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that now. Look at that. Yes, now I've already done for all the questions that were testing on the decision making. So now I want to move to the next one. And this next ones are only 3 Likert scale. And I will just code them like one, what did I say? One is never. Never. Then 2, sometimes. Then 3, always. And I say, okay. No, so now I've already done that. So I've already done what you call the appropriate coding. I've already put for all the questions. So the only thing that perhaps I need now is to be able to bring in the concept of I go to scale and put appropriate scale under every variable. And remember, all these variables are Likert scale, and Likert scales are ordinal measurements. So it's a matter of now changing the scale level to ordinal instead of these other ones that I already have here. So like if you look at the scale level here, it's all indicating that the first one is numeric and there, but the rest are all scale. That's not what we want here. So we know that this particular, I need to close this one now. I need that this particular scale is ordinal because these are Likert scale. Can I be able to copy this one now also so that I can copy? Because all of them is ordinal. You change it like that. So once you've already done like that, we can now go back to our data set. So this is the data. Everything is perfectly done. So now, what can we do? First of all, when I begin what you call the process of data cleanup, I need to view my data. So I will come here. I can save first. I will come here and then I say view. And what do I view? I need to view labels, the labels that I've used, especially for coding purposes, so that I can be able to, you click like that. So when you do like that, you will return it to the way it was before. But you'll realize that some questions were left, like you can see, some of them are not been filled like that one. You can be able to investigate why is it left blank. Those particular questions were not blank. And then you replace them accordingly. But then the other side, everything is perfect. Alternatively, under view, you can also check using this particular icon under immediately after help. You click one, it turns back to numbers. You click A, it comes back to our what you call string variables, the words that we use for coding purposes. You can be able to see them well. This is the first step to what you call data cleanup. You need to visualize exactly the codes, whether every codes have been appropriately done and everything. If not, then at least you go and try to investigate so that you can be able to replace them with appropriate codes for those particular numbers. So once that is done, then we move to the next level. So this is simply I return it to numbers. So look at the numbers. The ones that were missing, definitely they were missing. They were not done. So look at these numbers. They are missing. Yeah, that's why. So you come and try to ask yourself, why were those particular questions missing? What perhaps happened? Then, or they were not filled by the respondent. So next, after viewing the data and realize that some are missing like that, it simply revealed to you that there are some questions that were not filled. So you come to the next level of trying to identify the missing values. So the missing values is the second step to data cleanup, identifying the missing values. And there are quite a number of reasons why questions can be missing. And I've talked about one specific reason why questions may be missing is because the respondent perhaps never found the question so difficult. So when the respondent found the question so difficult, it doesn't have answer to it, you will skip that particular question. That question definitely will be missing when you transfer the responses back to this particular software. So the question difficult, question intimidating, yes, you are trying to intimidate your respondents, they will not fill those particular questions. They will leave them blank. So it is very, very important for you to be very polite in the way you're framing your questions. And that's why I normally emphasize that every person who is serious in conducting research must be able to start doing what you call the pilot study. Because in the pilot study, we shall look at the questions that have been left blank and try to ask ourselves, why were they left blank? Was it the formatting problem or the questions being difficult? Can I make them more simple so that at least I will not have those missing values? So pilot is the opportunity for you to do things right when you are going to do the data collection. So that's why you must be able to collect data, conduct a pilot and rectify our questionnaire so that we increase even the response rate or in response rates from the respondent. When initially we participate in our survey. Now, what do we do when questions are missing? Like this particular question is missing, C3, it is missing. What do we do when some questions are missing? So we come to what you call replace missing values. So where do we find replace missing values? Let's look at data. In the data, what do we get here? In the data, I only find duplicate entries. We don't have replacing missing values in what you call under data. Then they must be in transform. So in transform, I will have down here replace missing values. So I will click like that and go to specific variable where there are missing values. It was C3. So I come to C3. C3 what? Because we have different C3. This is the first C3. So I come here to C3, 1. C3, 1, here, A. Then I bring it. That is the data where we have a missing value. So that particular data, you must know, first of all, in which format is the data? Is it a categorical response or it is a numeric response? So according to this one's a Likert scale, and Likert scale is a categorical response. Therefore, I will replace with what you call medium of nearby points. So I come to this method of replacing. We have here options. Series mean of nearby points. I will not use that because I'm not dealing with what you call numeric variable. Medium of nearby points, that's exactly what I'm going to use. And then we have also linear extrapolation and linear trend at point. All these are options available in the space where we can replace missing value. For my case, since I'm dealing with categorical response, I will use what you call medium of nearby points to replace the missing values. Then immediately I've done that, I come here and say change. Yes, I change. So what am I changing? I need to change from that particular variable to this one. Yes. Then I come here and say, okay. Yes, I've not done what you call the change operation. That's why it is telling me, SPSS is trying to advise me that please, can you complete your change operations? Yes, it has actually not been changed, because that's why you're finding still it is missing. So I never performed something here. So it will require me now to do what? Okay, this is the rule. Since we don't want to interfere with any of the data sets from its original status, you are supposed to go from every variable and try to check if at all some of the variables there are missing. The ones that you find are missing, you are going to replace them. You can either replace with mean or medium of nearby points. Mean of nearby points or medium for nearby points. When I'm replacing, this is what I'm supposed to do. Okay, I don't need to replace this direct, since I need to create a new variable, which perhaps I'm going to use for replacing. Or before I do this, I save this particular dataset in dataset 1 and then dataset 2. So I use the dataset 2 to replace anything. Since if I do a mistake with that particular dataset, I still have my original work, which I can refer to make any rectification. That is exactly how far I'm supposed to do this. But this, for the training purposes, I will just do it direct. So I come here and then I say transform, and then I come replace missing values. And then this is the kind of missing values that I've already talked about. So I've replaced this one. So I replace with what we call medium of nearby points. And now they are trying to tell me that this variable is too long in terms of its definition to an extent that I need to make it shorter. So what will I do? So I can decide now to change this particular variable. Yes, let me see. Variable name must be 1 to 64, which simply means this one is more than 1 to 64. So what I will do is this. I come back to this particular data that I want to replace. I copy it. And then I go at the end and I do what? And I create it here. Yes? Yes, I've added it there, and we can be able to see it is missing. Some values here are missing. So I want to use this now to rectify, since that this is what I want to use to do the modification. So I will come here, transform, then replace missing values. I return this one back. Then I go to the last one now. The last question, yes, EC3. I come in and I place it there. Then now I come to medium of nearby points. Then I say change. So I've already changed it. Then I come and say, okay. So now when I go back to that particular data set, you'll see several, that particular data set now do not have any missing value. Yes. So those are some of the, we are just done, then we identify what you call outlier. And since this does not have an outlier because of the way the data set was, outlier is the extreme value. It can either be too small or it is too large. And we need at least to rectify the outliers very well. So that now becomes perhaps the end of our presentation on data cleanup processes. So in case you have any question, you can now